At the end of this topic, you will be able to explain the separation of the components in a mixture, describe the methods to separate homogeneous mixture, describe the methods to separate heterogeneous mixture, discuss the filtration process adapted in various fields. Most of the matter in our surroundings exists as a mixture of two or more compounds. Example: milk, soil, seawater, etc. A mixture shows the properties of its constituent elements. The components of a mixture can be separated by physical methods like handpicking, filtration, and so on. Sometimes special techniques have to be used for the separation of the components of a mixture. Using the properties of the individual ingredients that are distinct and different, they can be separated. For example, if both the ingredients of a mixture are soluble in water, then it cannot be separated. However, if the melting point of the two ingredients is different, then it can be separated based on the melting point. A good knowledge of physical properties is therefore very important. There are several methods to separate the heterogeneous mixture. Few are decantation, filtration, sublimation, separating funnel. Decantation is used to separate a liquid from a solid. Solid is present as large particles that does not dissolve in it. Filtration is used to separate a liquid from a solid. Solid is present as very small particles which does not dissolve in the liquid. Sublimation is used to separate a volatile solid substance from a mixture containing a non-volatile solid substance. Separating funnel is used to separate two completely immiscible liquids. Sublimation is defined as a process in which a substance in the solid state is directly converted into vapor state. At high temperature, the molecules of volatile solid move far away from each other, making the solid substance into vapor. Consider a mixture containing common salt and camphor. Both common salt and camphor are solid substances. Common salt is a non-volatile substance. It does not undergo sublimation. Camphor undergoes sublimation, hence camphor can be separated from common salt by sublimation. Solids that undergo sublimation are camphor, naphthalene, benzoic acid, iodine, and ammonium chloride. An equal quantity of fine salt and wheat flour are added into the beaker containing water and stirred well. The solubility of flour and salt in water is observed. The flour settles at the bottom of the beaker. Now mention a suitable method of separation of flour from the salt. The suitable method to separate the flour and the water is decantation method. Perform the experiment and record your observations. Materials required: common salt, camphor, china dish, cotton, stand, burner. Procedure: take a mixture containing common salt and camphor in a china dish. Place it over a burner. Keep an inverted funnel over it. Close the funnel stem by means of cotton. Heat the china dish. Record your observations. Both common salt and camphor are solid substances. Common salt is a non-volatile substance. It does not undergo sublimation. Camphor undergoes sublimation. Hence, camphor can be separated from common salt by sublimation. Immiscible liquids are separated by using a device called separating funnel. Consider a mixture containing kerosene and water. Both the liquids are immiscible with each other. By using a separating funnel, one liquid can be separated from the other. Less denser liquid remains in the upper layer, while high denser liquid remains in the lower layer. Perform the experiment and write the principle behind it. Materials required: kerosene, water, separating funnel. Procedure: take a mixture containing kerosene and water. Pour the mixture into a separating funnel. Close the mouth of the separating funnel. Shake it for 10 minutes. Hold the funnel in a stand for 15 minutes. Observe the changes. Note the lower and upper layers. Write the principle behind it. Both the liquids are immiscible with each other. By using a separating funnel, one liquid can be separated from the other. Less denser liquid remains in the upper layer, while high denser liquid remains in the lower layer. There are several methods to separate the homogeneous mixture. Few are distillation, fractional distillation, chromatography. Distillation is used to separate a non-volatile solid and a volatile liquid present together in a solution. Fractional distillation is used for separating a mixture containing two or more liquids with an appreciable difference in their boiling points. Separation of two or more dissolved solids can be carried out by chromatography. It can be used to separate samples as small as picogram, 10 to 12 grams, and as large as several ions. It involves the distribution of solutes between a moving phase and a non-moving phase or stationary phase. Fractional distillation is a suitable method for separation of a mixture containing miscible liquids. It works on the principle that the two liquids should vary in their boiling points by 25 K. Separation of benzene and toluene by fractional distillation. Both the liquids are miscible with one another. They can be separated by fractional distillation. Boiling point of benzene is 353 K. Boiling point of toluene is 384 K. The difference in their boiling point is 31 K. Separate the water and the alcohol using a distillation flask. Materials required: alcohol, water, distillation flask apparatus. Procedure: take a mixture of alcohol and water in a distillation flask. Close the distillation flask with one whole rubber cork and fit in a thermometer. Fit a condenser. Heat the mixture slowly. Record your observations. Ethanol has a lower boiling point than water, so it evaporates first. The ethanol vapor is then cooled and condensed inside the condenser to form a pure liquid. The thermometer shows the boiling point of the pure ethanol liquid. When all the ethanol has evaporated from the solution, the temperature rises and the water evaporates. Filtration processes adopted in various fields. Carbon filter. Powdered charcoal can be formed, serves as a filter. As air is drawn through the holes, the charcoal trap gases and chemicals. Such carbon filters are put in the gas masks used by soldiers and firefighters. Air conditioning filter. It circulates the air with fans and removes dust from the air. Automobile filter. Filters in the fuel line clean the fuel, but they can block the flow of fuel when they get clogged with dirt. Water filter. Particles of matter suspended in water are removed by the use of chemicals like chlorine, potash, alum, and powdered carbon and filtered through beds of sands or porous separation. Identification of element, compound, or mixture. In this topic, you have learned sublimation is defined as a process in which a substance in the solid state is directly converted into vapor state. Decantation, used to separate a liquid from a solid present as large particles. Filtration, used to separate a liquid from a solid present as very small particles. Sublimation, used to separate a volatile solid substance from a mixture containing a non-volatile solid substance. Separating fuel, used to separate two completely immiscible liquids. Distillation, used to separate a non-volatile solid and a volatile liquid present together in a solution. Fractional distillation, used for separating a mixture containing two or more liquids with an appreciable difference in their boiling points. Separation of two or more dissolved solids can be carried out by chromatography.